What's up, y'all? I know that you have requested an ombre nail tutorial, so I'm going to show you two different ways of doing the ombre look. So for this video, I'm going to show you two different methods with a couple of different colors. The first one is going to be the pink and white ombre, and for that I'm using Bette for the white, and I'm going to be using Covetous, both by Revel. That's for Covetous for the pink. So for this, you're going to need a couple of fluffy eyeshadow brushes. These are pretty cheapo ones. I got them at Walmart. I think they're by Wet n Wild or Elf maybe. I don't know. They were cheap. They were like $1, maybe $2. So you're going to start off for the French ombre by applying your base. And I'm going to take the eyeshadow brush. And we're going to go into the white and just tap, tap, tap right on the free edge. You want to concentrate this the most on the free edge. That's the part that you want the whitest. And then you can add along, going up the nail. You can add, but you want to add ever so lightly so it kind of fades into the nail. And then you have to work a little bit quickly. You're going to take the pink and do the same thing, but on the other side. Just going to tap, tap, tap closer to the cuticle, concentrate on the cuticle, and go and meet the pink in the middle. Now you do have to work pretty fast because, especially depending on what kind of base you use, some dry quicker than others. So you want to work depending on how quickly your base dries, I suppose. You don't want to take your time with this. Definitely practice on swatches. So once that's had a minute to set, you can go ahead and wipe it off. And we're going to go in for the second coat. Now on my nails, I have natural nails and they're kind of short. So me personally, I would do 2 coats of this, of the ombre, and then put a coat of clear on top. You should be putting a coat of clear on top of everything. Let me tell you, if you want to protect your nails, especially if you're doing an ombre design like this or kind of nail art, you need to put clear over it. Otherwise, you're going to run the risk of buffing it or filing it off, and then all your hard work would have been for nothing. So cap and clear. So this is our second coat of the ombre, and I'm doing the same exact thing as I did the first time. I'm going in with the white by the free edge and the pink over closer to the cuticle area. And you want to be super careful when you're doing this. Don't let the brush actually touch your nail because you're going to smush things and smudge it up, and you don't want to do that either. And that's what the ombre pretty much looks like. Now you're going to let this sit for a minute and brush off the excess. And then it's going to depend, your next step is going to depend on what you want to do next. I didn't do it here, but you should do clear on top, just to encapsulate. I went ahead and activated, and then you can go ahead and file and buff, making up words. And then you can put, your topper on. I did not file and buff because they're swatches, but normally what I would do is I would do gel top coat, so I don't really buff the nails so much. I showed you this because you can actually lose a lot of product if you're doing this, just on a towel or something. So I'd always recommend doing these ombre type styles either over the covers of the jars or, like a coffee filter or a cupcake liner. Those work really well too. Okay, so my activator is dried. I'm going to go ahead and top coat. And while that's curing, I'm going to show you how to do the scrub method that I know is flying all over the Book of Face right now. And I've had a lot of questions on, does it work? Can it work with all colors? And that kind of stuff. So we're going to dive into that. I'm going to use Bette, the same white that I used for the French ombre. And I'm also going to use this gorgeous blue from Revel called Preston. So for the scrub method, you only need one eyeshadow brush. You're only going to be using that on the blue. What we're going to do is we're going to take our nail swatch, or you're going to take your hand, your nails. You're going to want to do at least 2 coats of the white. Now again, this all depends on how thick or thin you like your nails, if you're working with natural nails, if you're working with extensions. I would definitely recommend if you're doing extensions, you want to build that nail a little bit before you start putting color on. So let's, for argument's sake, say you want to do 2 coats of the color. So we're all on the same page. You're going to start the way you always would. You're going to start with your base. And then you're going to do a full dip into the white. Now, I don't know about you guys. I like to let the nail hang out for like a second, just so it absorbs into that base, all that white powder. So you're going to do your full coat of the white. Wait a second until it sets, and then brush off the excess. And you're going to do one more full coat of the white. And this white is not like a, I don't know, I have the Veronica too, and I felt like that was just a little too white for this particular ombre effect. So I used the Bette, but I love the Bette with both of these. All right, so you've got your full dip of the white. Let it set for about 3 to 5 seconds. Trust me on this. Don't go in right away. And now you're going to take your fluffy eyeshadow brush. Make sure it's clean, and so you don't contaminate colors or anything like that. And you're going to take that fluffy brush into the blue, into the Preston, and you are literally going to scrub it on the free edge of the nail. That's why I said wait a few seconds. Otherwise, you're going to goop everything up and ruin your brush. So you scrub that blue right over that white. And you'll start to see that the blue has absorbed right through that white into that base. And this is going to create another ombre look. Now you can keep doing this. You can put layer upon layer upon layer of this on, depending on how pigmented or how bright or bold you want it. What I would recommend doing is, if from here you wanted more blue or just brighter, do a full dip in clear instead of doing a full dip in the white. Do a full dip in clear and then go back with your blue and scrub, scrub, scrub. But I like this. I think it looks very subtle and super pretty. So you're gonna activate, and again, follow the same steps as you normally would. And make sure you're always capping that edge. Whatever liquid you put on your nails, with the exception of maybe the base. I don't really, it's not cross-contaminated. Get that out. With the exception of the base, cap your edges. Cap them real well. That's gonna help avoid peeling, lifting, all that not so fun stuff that makes you hate your nails sometimes. So now I'm going to grab my gel top coat. Let's pretend for a minute that I encapsulated in clear, because that's what I would do. I know I sound like a broken record, but encapsulate with clear. It'll save your life sometimes. I don't know if that's is that a fuzzy or a token cat hair? Either way. So now we're gonna stick that in the lamp. And that's the finished product for the pink and white. And you can do this again with different whites, different pinks. That method, the tap tap method, I'm gonna call it, you can use that with any color combination. It's gonna come out cute. And again, I used the Covetous. I don't think I showed you this before. Covetous, that's the pink. And I used the Bette for the white on the free edge. And here's the completed look for the blue ombre with the scrub method. So as you can see, I mean, they both look like ombres. Both methods work. That was with Preston, and the white was the same from the pink and white, the Bette from Revel. Now you cannot use the scrub method with the pink and white ombre. You just can't. The white is not pigmented enough. So you have to use the tap tap, but you can use scrub for pretty much anything else. And those are the finished looks. I really appreciate you guys asking me to do these videos because I'm not a pro, but I appreciate y'all. Hope you enjoyed. Take care.